Dr. Tushar Patel, welcome to ITV Gold. Thank you for giving us your time here.
Thank you so much, Aditi.
Yes, so we have you here because a lot is happening in coronavirus and we want to get to our audience the latest updates and raise awareness. So let's go right into it, Dr. Patel. I'm looking at some numbers that are coming in today. We're at more than 30 million cases. We're actually nearing 31 million cases in this country, and we're at 555,000 deaths. Experts are right now worried about these COVID-19 variants that are spreading across all 50 states of the U.S. This is happening while we're doing the vaccine program as well. My question to you is, are we vaccinating fast enough, or are we going to have another surge due to these variants?
So, Aditi, the first thing first, we are going in the right direction for the vaccination inoculation. However, the UK variant B117 is more contagious, and like you say, now in every state in the USA. As of today, we have more than 15,000 cases of this new variant. So close to 80,000 people are getting infected every single day. 7-day average is 64,000 cases a day. So whatever we are doing with the vaccination, we must continue to do that, but we need to control the infection as well.
President Biden today announced that he wants to make all adults eligible by April 19th, which is, he is now making it before his last deadline, which was May 1st. Do you think that will help with the spread of the variants?
So that will help. There is some good news and some bad news I want to share. Right now, as of right now, we are 167 million doses administered. That is total of 19% fully vaccinated, 32% at least one dose. There are 33 states in this country are offering vaccination to 16 and older. That is a good news. But the bad news is about 75% of age 65 and above and 75 and above are only 75% are getting the vaccine. Only 44% between 50 and 64 are vaccinated. So that is where we need to increase the number. I know opening it to the younger population is a good thing. However, the older age population, 65 and above with a pre-existing condition, we must vaccinate them 100%.
So are you trying to say that we are still not meeting supply and demand?
Right now, supply and demand is also a huge challenge. The few other challenges we have right now is the vaccination hesitancy. A lot of people in some states are hesitant to take the vaccine. There are some discouraged people in this country who are frustrated with the system. We need to find those people. We need to find those minority population, people with color population. We need to ensure that we inoculate them, we vaccinate them in a rate the average American people are getting. In order to do that, we must reach out to those individuals. We need to find those people above 65, people with color and minority population. Then we'll see some difference.
And these variants you just mentioned, Dr. Patel, I'd like to discuss about them a little bit more. Are these vaccines fully effective against, these coronavirus variants? How is it looking like when you're looking at the UK, the South African, the Brazilian one, and also the one in New York?
So the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine were developed before this variant came.
Right.
Luckily, J&J came after the clinical trials happened in September. So in my opinion, J&J vaccine is much more effective than the other two for the variants. However, there is no vaccine is foolproof. We must ensure that we follow the public health guidance, and we must do whatever we need to do to fight this pandemic.
Right. U.S. public health officials are also saying that the young people are driving these uptick in cases. What are your comments?
So, as you see, 75% of the age 65 and above are getting vaccinated. So now the virus is looking for the young individuals. Only 32% between 40 and 49 are vaccinated. 26% between 30 and 39 are vaccinated. And only 18% of 18 and 29% are vaccinated. So I think we need to ensure that those people who are vaccinated right now, they don't spread the virus to the young individuals. And that is the problem right now, because 2/3 of the young population are not vaccinated yet, and we must take all the appropriate actions to ensure that we don't give the disease to them.
That's true. Talking more on the vaccines, doctor, I have two more questions on that. When you're looking at J&J, how do we increase public faith in the Johnson & Johnson vaccine? People are still concerned about the fact that the efficacy is still lower than Pfizer and Moderna.
So my medical expert opinion is all three vaccinations are equally important. Don't fall into that efficacy number of 95% or 90% or 70%. Take the vaccine whichever is available to you first in order to protect yourself. In the future, you may need to take a booster dose. That is okay, but right now, with one dose of Johnson & Johnson vaccination, you are fully protected to not to get the severe disease and hospitalization. So it's a win-win situation for people and it's only one dose. So it's less hassle, less complications of getting the side effects, and I think it's a good win for everyone.
I think the point is whichever vaccine you get, just take it. It's so
Absolutely.
important for us to raise that awareness. When you're looking at vaccines, another vaccine that's making news and has been making news for quite a while is AstraZeneca. What more insight could you give us about it? It is waiting for FDA's approval in the United States. Do you think it'll get approved? And any comments on the blood clot cases related to the AstraZeneca vaccine?
So let's talk about the blood clot cases. There are 27 million people received the vaccination, and it's only a handful people got the blood clot. So the concern of getting the blood clot from the vaccination is not proven yet, and I think it's too premature to talk about it. However, in the United States, this AstraZeneca vaccine probably will be submitted for the emergency use authorization within the next couple of weeks, by end of this month for sure, and I think by middle of May we should have enough vaccine. And I think the good news is by end of next month, by end of May, we will have more supply than the demand. So I think the good news is next few weeks is going to be very, very critical for the vaccination as well as the disease front.
Right. And when we are looking at these fully vaccinated individuals, Dr. Patel, what are your recommendations to these people? The air travel is going at its highest point during the pandemic right now. People are, traveling everywhere. They're not wearing their mask. What are your recommendations on that?
So people need to understand that the virus is still on. As you saw yesterday, 38,000 people watched that Texas baseball game. Right. Okay, that is a huge mistake. Spring break, 6 million people travel in flights in last 3 to 4 days. That's not a good thing. We need to avoid all non-essential travel if possible. If you receive your both vaccines and have to travel, mask yourself and avoid large gatherings, because you're not only protecting yourself but protecting your loved ones, your community, your young generation individuals in the community. And I think vaccinated people can do some indoor stuff if the family is all vaccinated together without mask and doing some following some public health guidance.
Right. What are the chances of getting COVID-19 after being fully vaccinated?
So chances are very, very minimal, very, very low, but the variant in the horizon, you cannot guarantee 100% protection. So you need to take that precautions as well.
Right. And let's talk about vaccines in children, Dr. Patel, another thing that's been making news all across the nation. What is happening with them? I know Pfizer is working on trying to inoculate, and they've started their trials as well. How important do you think it is for us to inoculate children in order to reach herd immunity?
That is huge, because if we can inoculate these individuals, young individuals less than 16 years of age, come September, we can open up the school safely. We can develop that herd immunity very quickly by reaching that 80% of population. So right now, there are 260 million people are eligible to get the vaccine. It's only 90 million received the vaccine. So I think we still need to reach that 80% mark of getting that herd immunity. And I think the vaccine in the young individuals, once they approve it, I think that's going to be a game changer.
A follow-up to that, do you think opening schools before children have been vaccinated is a mistake?
I think we need to wait until August, September, the next school year, in order for everyone to be safe. We came a long way. Few more weeks is not going to make a huge difference for the education. So I think we need to take that practical approach and follow the public health guidance.
And Dr. Fauci on these schools and their openings has said that there is an increase in transmission of cases in the school settings, but he's saying they come from outside. When these children are playing sports together or they're interacting outside of school. What are your comments on that?
Absolutely, because right now that's not a time for celebration. There's not a time for games. There is no time for gatherings for the sports events. Right now, next few months, I would say until the Memorial Day, we all need to be very safe, because I see in next 2 to 4 weeks another surge coming from the Easter break. A lot of people are on the road. A lot of people are doing air travel. We will see a huge spike in next few weeks. So I think we all need to be very careful, use the common sense. We have done it in the past, and we must observe that in order for us to have a safe 4th of July.
Right. 3 more questions here for you, Dr. Patel. CDC today says that you can put away disinfectant now in your household supplies. You can just use soap and water, and it should be okay. Disinfectants were a huge issue last year when they ran out of the supply of them, and people are very particular about that. What are your comments?
So, if you are, the regular cleaning is always recommended. By soap and water, hand washing, soap and water, it is always recommended. Don't get crazy in getting those disinfectants and try to use it on every single day. It depends on how much soiled spaces you have in your kitchen, or your routine areas where you work out, or where you have the gatherings with the family. So it all depends on it, but don't get crazy by cleaning on every single day, because you may develop that super infection as well. So you want to ensure that you don't kill the germs too often.
Right, very important words from you here. Michigan is currently seeing its highest number of cases that it has seen since, I believe, January. Are you concerned that we're going to start seeing these kind of surges in places like New York and other, bigger areas?
So there are few states already: Michigan, Minnesota, North Carolina, Massachusetts, Florida, Illinois. They are all having more than 10 to 15% increase in last few weeks. I hope enough people are vaccinated in Northeast, New York, New Jersey area, and we don't have to see that. But if we see that, it's going to be very, very difficult to manage.
Right. And my final question to you again deals with South Asians at high risk. What's the advice for them? And with these variants, even if they're vaccinated, how careful do they have to be?
So if you're vaccinated, you can meet with your family. South Asians with chronic medical conditions, diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, you must be very careful, because the variant can hit you, and by doing some risky behavior, definitely can hurt you. So my message to South Asians with the chronic medical conditions above age 65 is to stay put for now, for next few months. And I think after June, July, you will be able to do all the normal stuff you used to do before.
Yes, let's hope that is true, Dr. Patel. Thank you for your time here on ITV Gold.